Hi, and welcome to another lesson with React. Today I'm going to show you how to make a to-do app, but with Firebase as the backend. Firebase is a very useful tool that gets everything more easier for you. All the database and the backend CRUD functionality. It helps you a lot, and I will show you how it is very cool. So I'm going to make a new project here. I'm going to start by that. You're going to put here the name of your project. For example, TodoApp Firebase. Continue. Then put here continue. Here select the default account, create project, and we will wait a few seconds so it can begin. You're going to see how easy it is to use, how easy it implements all the backend functionality. Okay, you have to put here continue, and it goes to the console. Here you make click, and here we're going to write the name of your app. For example, Firebase to do app. You're going to configure out Firebase hosting because we're going to host it there. Continue. Okay, here you put next. Here is to install the CLI that you're going to need. If you have never ever used Firebase, you have to copy this and install it in your terminal, and it's global, so you just install it once, then put next. This is what we are going to use after, when we have finished our app and we will deploy it. Okay, just continue, and okay, now we have our app. Okay, then you go here to the project configuration and go down, put here configuration, and copy this key. This is the key that will link us to link our app with Firebase. Here in the app, we are going to make here in the src, in the source, we're going to make a file called firebase.js, and we're going to paste this key. Cool. Then to initialize our Firebase connection to the app, I'm going to make this. For example, you have to bring Firebase as a dependency, import Firebase from Firebase. So we have to install Firebase. You go here to the terminal and put np install Firebase, and we just wait for it to install. Okay, so now that it has installed, we're going to initialize our app, and that is going to be like this. We're going to bring Firebase, and we're going to use this function that initialize our connection, and here we're going to pass the key we have paste here. Okay, so that is going to serve us, and we're going to save it in this constant Firebase app. So now we can we can take the DB from Firebase, and that is this way. Firebase, and to access the database, we're going to use Firestore, which is the database of Firebase, and we're going to export it so we can use it later. Cool. Now we have made connection with our app. Okay, so now we're going to our app and we're going to build the app. We're going to erase some files that are useless for now. And here in the app, I'm going to build everything. So here, for now, I'm going to erase this, I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to put a title, maybe TodoApp with Firebase. And okay, here is working fine. So you know, always a to-do has to have an input section, and a section of the list of to-dos, and maybe every to-do has to have its own component. But here, to focus on the learning of Firebase connection with your React app, I'm going to make almost everything here in the app. So here I'm going to make a form, an input, and a button. It will be add to do, and here going to have a placeholder, and it says add to do, just like this. Okay, so you know, whenever we have an input, it has to have its own state, so it can grab the value we are writing here. So const text set text, and we're going to use this hook use state. Okay, here I have to import use state from React, and okay, here I have to make some changes to link this input with the value of this state. You have to use value, and this is equal to the state text. And to grab the values of what we are writing here, it is with an onChange. It grabs the event, and then we use setText to save our value of the input in the text state. To see if this is working fine, I'm going to console log the text to see if it is grabbing what we are writing here. F12, and then I'm going to write wash the dishes. Okay, it is working absolutely fine. So I'm not going to need this anymore. Okay, now what if I go again to my Firebase console, and we will see the database. Okay, here in Firestore, in Cloud Firestore, and we're going to create our database. You're going to put here test mode next, and this is staying by default, and habilitate. Let's wait a few moments. Okay, now we have our database. It starts with a collection that will be our to-dos database. So here I'm going to put the name of our database elements, to-dos. Next, and you see that it can generate an automatic ID. And here, for example, I put text because that's the field that will have every to do. It will have a text, and I can put here a value that is an string, maybe wash the dishes. Okay, save. And then you will see that in the collection of to-dos there is one to do with this ID, and it has this field called text, and its value is wash the dishes. Okay, if you have never used Firebase, that is how you create a new to do with Firebase. I'm going to make another generate automatic ID, and here you have to use the same field. Here I can put study React, 7 React hooks. I'm going to save, and I'm going to make another to have some data. Okay, text, and here go to the gym and save. Okay, cool. Now we have some database. We are going to bring it here so we can see it here in the list. It's going to be something very cool and easy. Let's see how you can make this. Okay, so you know whenever you will fetch data, it's with the use effect hook, and this is the syntax. You have to import it here. Okay, so how does this work? Whenever you use effect, it says whenever this renders, you will do whatever you put here. So what's the logic when we fetch the list is whenever our app is rendered, and you put it like this with these empty braces. When the app is rendered, you will fire this function right here, and that is to fetch. So to fetch, we're going to use these Firebase functions. But first, I'm going to import my DB from the Firebase file I made before, like this. Okay, here. So this is like this. From the DB, I'm going to take the collection that is called to-dos, because we have done that. This is the name of our collection. You see? Then it goes to the docs. Okay. But here and then we're going to use a special function that allow us to fetch data very easy from Firebase. This is called on a snapshot. It says like something like this. So you go to the collection and you fire like a snapshot of this. of this data, just like like a instant photo of this data. So you fire that function and you do this. For every snapshot you are taking, for every photo you are taking, you're going to do this. Sorry, you're going to do this. So I'm going to save in my to-dos this. Okay, a snapshot, and we are going to be we're going to go in order. Okay, I'm going to grab the docs. Okay, I'm going to map it. So this is saying I'm going through every element of these docs. So these are the docs, and for every doc give me, okay, this, and this is access like this, doc dot data, and this function that takes every field here. That's how you fetch data from Firebase. You have to understand every piece of code. From the DB of Firebase, I'm going to the collections of to-dos, and I take an a snapshot that is like a photo of that instant in the database. For every photo I want to save in my set to-dos, but here there is no to-dos. Okay, sorry. You state, and this is going to be an array. So every to-dos is going to be saved in this state with set to-dos. So this is the data we are taking here. So let's see if it is working. I'm going to console the to-dos to see if it's taking this data. F12. Okay, so it is working fine, because here is taking what we have wrote in our database. Start React, go to Gym and wash the dishes. Okay, it's working fine. So now I'm going to print it here. For that, you have to use here to make a div with a class name called to-do list. To-dos list. I'm going to open curly braces and put here to-dos map to go through every to-do, and for every to-do I'm going to print maybe a P, just to make it simple. To do its text. Save, and let's see if it is working. Okay, it is printing all the to-dos we have written here. So it's working absolutely fine. Okay, so everything is good. Now what if we add some new to do from this app? So I right here I hear something and it adds when I click this add to do, and let's see that. So I'm going here, I'm going to put here a function through the on click that is called add to do, for example, and I have to declare my function add to do. It doesn't. Okay. To do this is very easy because here we've got, and what I'm going to do is put here db. I'm going to access again that collection of to-dos. I'm going to, and I'm just simply going to add here the new to-do, and it's going to be an object, and it will have a text, and the text will be what we write here, and what we write here is also called text. Okay, I think that is enough. Let's see if it is working. Okay, cut the grass. It is refreshing, so here I have to put prevent default. And here I have to pass the event. Okay, now let's see if it is working. Cut the grass. Okay, it is working fine. Now we have learned how to add a new element to a database in Firebase. But here it stays with what I wrote. So I want to reset this, and to do this I'm going to use this set state to go back to null. Okay, set text to empty string. Okay, cool. Here I can put watch Netflix maybe. Okay, cool. It is adding, and this is resetting after I submit. But as you have seen, it is saving in some random order. So it is ordering by this random ID, and we don't have control over this ID, so we are going to need another ID so we can order by this ID. And for that, Firebase have something called time stamp, that is like the hour or the time you are submitting this to do into the database, and this is unique. So I'm going to put here timestamp, and this is like this. I'm going to, from Firebase, I'm going to go to the Firestore, and then I'm going to put here field value, and here timestamp. Sorry, server timestamp, and it's going to be a function. So here I will need Firebase from Firebase, that dependency. Okay, save. So now every to do is going to be saved with a timestamp. It's like the time you are submitting. Let's see if it is working. For example, read a book. Okay, so it is, I think this is it, and yes, it is saving with a timestamp, that is the exact time it is being saved. But now the others doesn't have one timestamp, so it's better if you delete all the collection, so now everyone can have its own timestamp. To erase, I'm going to put the name of the collection. Okay, I'm going to make another collection also called to dos, and just generate, no, and here I'm going to make another some new to dos. So for example, study React, and it's going to be saved in order. Take a look at this. No. Okay. So as you can see, you have to refresh. And now every to do has its own timestamp. So now this can be, now we can have control over our timestamp, and we can order our list by the timestamp. To do that, I'm going to go here when I fetch, and in here, yes, I'm going to put order by, and I'm going to pass two parameters. One is to indicate it is ordered by timestamp, and the second value is to see to it indicates here it is by ascending or descending order, to save our to dos in order, so it goes up here when so the last one goes right here, is going to be this descendant. Okay, now I'm going to see if it is working. Okay, now it's going to be sleep early. Yes, it is working. Go to a date. Yes, it is working fine. Go to the movies. Okay, cool. It is working. So now that we have done this, we want to delete them. So here I will here, let's put here into a div, and here I will put a button that says delete, and it's going to have a function with onClick called, and you have to put here an arrow function, and right here the name of a function that is going to take the ID. So you have seen we need an ID to delete the specific to do I am clicking. So for now it's going to be a button like this, and to be a little more order, I'm going to put here like this. Okay, now this is very rudimentary, so I'm going to focus on the functionality. Okay, so we're going to need an ID to identify I am taking this delete, this to do. So to do that, you see here that to identify every to do, Firebase is generating this specific ID. So I want, whenever I fetch, I want to also fetch this ID. To do that, you see, this is what we are just taking, this doc data, and this doc data is this information. But we cannot delete all the to do with this timestamp. We have to use the ID from the whole to do. So here I will have to do this. Now I'm going to grab this object ID that is going to be the doc's ID, and also I will take this to do, and it's going to be named to do, and here is doc.data. All right, now we have got this ID. If you see here in the console log, sorry, this is doc.id. Okay, let's see if it is working. You see it has broken. You know why? Okay, let's see. First, I'm going to see if it is taking what I have requested. That is the ID. Okay, this is the ID of this specific ID, and this is that to do. And every to do has its own text and its own timestamp. Cool. This is working fine. So, do you know why this is breaking? Because here this isn't doc data anymore. This is an object of ID and to do. So every to do's now has its own ID and its own to do. Now it will work fine. Okay. So here is an error that says each child in a list should have a unique key pro. Every list you map needs a key to tell React every to do is unique. So here I can put a key, and now that we have an identifier that is the ID that is unique, I put here ID, and all right, that error doesn't appear anymore. So everything is working fine. So now I am able to delete this. So by clicking this, anonymous arrow function, and here I'm going to put a function, and now it takes our ID. So cool. But here I have to declare this function, delete to do. It takes my ID and does something with that. So for fetching it has been like this. You take DB, you've got the collections to do, and you make another stuff. Here is to add, and to do is by taking the DB, go to the collection and add. And it's very similar. So you can imagine how it will be. DB collections, also to do's, but now you're going to every doc and you are reconnecting it by his ID. And now we just simply put delete. and function. Let's see if it is working. Okay, it is working fine. Good. We are not going to a date. Okay, I'm not going to sleep early. Okay, cool. Now we have learned how to add, how to get, and to delete the to-dos from a Firebase database. Okay, cool. We're going to make this a little more decent. Okay, so here, this mapping, this to-do is going to be a component like this. To do. Okay, here I have to make the component to do. I'm going to use this little trick, RFCE, and everything appears. Okay, I'm going to paste what I have got here, and okay, but here I want to put this better in this place, so it is more clean. Now I have to pass some props. I want to pass these props, ID just as ID, and to do as to do. Cool. Now here I have to bring this to do an ID, and I have to import this to do. Okay, cool. But because I also have to pass this delete to do. And I have to pass it here. Okay, now it works fine. And what about making this a little more good looking? So I'm going to use material UI. For that, you're going to install them just like this. Okay, now npm install material UI core, and also material UI icons, and enter. Now that it has installed, we're going to implement Firebase. So here I'm going to bring these components from material. This is going to be now list item, and this is going to be list item text. This item text. For the delete to do, and then for the edit to do, I'm going to make this. I'm going to go here to the icons and put here delete. Better here, delete. I'm going to grab this component. I'm going to import it here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to make this for the edit. But before, I'm going to put this here because we are not longer going to use this. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, we have to import these elements, these components from material and this. Okay, let's see how it is. Okay, now it's looking a little more better. Here I going to use edit. I'm going to take this and going to paste it here also. Okay, I'm going to use this edit icon and I'm going to put it here. Let's see how it is. Okay, now it is looking a little better. So this is not working anymore. Now I'm going to make this. I'm going to put a little style here. I'm going to put it background color. Maybe maybe blue violet. Let's see. Okay, but I want a margin top of 20 pixels. Let's see. Okay, I want a color of white. Okay, now it is a little better. So let's take our delete icon and make and put it some styles also. Color red, like warning, and here style color yellow. Okay, so I'm going here into the app and I'm going to put another style, background color, maybe tomato. Okay, but it is, I'm going to put it hate. Okay, and I want to delete this margin, and it is here in the index. I'm going to put it margin 0. Sorry. Margin 0. Okay. So here in the form, in the input, I want to put it also some styles. Margin top 20 pixels and margin bottom another 20 pixels. Okay, now it's a little better. So let's continue. And So here when we put edit, okay, here there is no cursor pointer. I'm going to put here cursor pointer. Okay, and here too, cursor pointer. So okay, I'm going to add a little more to this. Okay, now when I put edit, I want to make it appear like a model here, where I have this value and I can edit it. So here I'm going to go to material UI and search for a model, and to implement it I'm going to just simply don't complicate and copy this model, and I'm going to paste it here. It will have a body. So here, for example, you want a div with a title called edit model, for example. This is not necessary. So here I have this, and to bring it you'll have to go here. This is the complete code. Okay, here for example I need also these functions to open the model. Let's see. So whenever we click this edit icon, I want to open it, so I want this and put it here, but I have to declare this function, and it is like this. Okay, so we can just simply put this, but we need this state. We need this state. Okay, here I will need the state. Call const open and set open, and use state in false. Okay, yes, because I am putting a lot of elements here, and you only have to have one element. I'm going to put some fragments here. But I have to import this model. Okay, cool. And hang close. So hang close here is going to be okay, like this. I'm going to put it here. Okay, I think it's going to work now. So whenever I put this model appear, but you know it is looking like this, just like this, and we have to make it look good. So Here I'm going to take a look at my code, and I'm going to copy this make styles. We're going to use this dependency. I'm going to use these styles. It is, you can put it outside of your function. Then I'm going to need this to access the classes from my function. Okay, now I'm going to need this class called class.paper, and I'm going to put it in my body. Here, this is the body. Okay, let's see if how it is looking. Okay, it is looking much better now. So I want here like another input and button that just like this one, and to have the same ID from this to update. So it is not that that difficult. We just copy maybe our another later form, but it doesn't have to be a form. We just copy this and put it here. Okay, and let's erase this for now. Here I'm going to put edit to do, and here edit to do, but I have to declare this so it doesn't broke. Const edit to do, sorry, const edit to do, and it grabs the let's do this for now. Okay, so here we're going to need a new input, because this will have its own state, its own new text. So here I'm going to put it input, set input, use state, and I'm going to take this input and I'm going to link this input with this value, set text. Okay, here is not set text, is set input. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we have this, but then how do we approach the edit? So just like we did here, it's very similar. For example, it grabs the DB, then the collection to dos, and then we make a function. Okay, here it will be like this, db.collection, but I have to import db. Okay, then I have to grab the to-dos and the doc ID, and to update, to edit, you're going to use this function called set, and just like adding, I'm going to pass this a text, because text is the field of our to do of our database to do, and I'm going to pass it what you are writing here in the new input, just like this. Okay, and here I will so whenever I put this is going to fire. So I want it also to close, so I have to use set open and false. And let's see, and to do one more thing, I'm going to link the value of this to do. I'm going to show it here. I'm going to put here the value of the to do text. Let's see. Okay, study React. Okay, it is working. Study React hooks, and I'm going to edit. It is like resetting all. It's like overriding. So we have to put here something called merge true, and this is going to prevent the overriding. So now let's see. Go to the gym, and I'm going to put round the corner. Okay, it is working. When we put here, it is grabbing the value. Go to the gym again. Okay, this is working fine. So you have now learned how to add a to do. So you have learned how to delete. You have learned how to fetch data from Firebase and also edit. Go to the gym, go to the park. Okay, now what if we deploy this into Firebase Hosting? I'm going to make this like this. I'm going to go to the terminal here, and I'm going to, if you have never used Firebase, you have to put this npm Firebase, no, it is Firebase logging, and you are going into the CLI, and you're going to log in with your Google email, and then it continues like this. You have to put Firebase in it. You put here yes. You go into the hosting. You have to use a spacebar first, and then enter. You use an existing project. Then you're going into the app we have made, that is called TodoApp Firebase. It is this. Sorry, I have made a lot of to-do apps. Okay, here you have to do build. You have to write build, and here it says that if you want to configure your app as a single page app or a spa, it's obviously that you will want this, because that is the basis of React. You have to put yes, and okay, we're now ready to put npm run build. So everything it goes into a package, into a little package, so it can be deployed. So we are ready to deploy, and that is with this magic line, Firebase deploy. Enter. And it just takes some seconds to go into our hosting, into our Firebase hosting, and it's very easy. Okay, that's it. It is deployed. Here in this URL, it is hosting from Firebase. You put here, you just copy or put control click and open. And okay, it is working fine. I can put here a new to do. And it works just fine. Okay, that's it for now. I hope you have learned a lot. Thanks.